So I wake in the morning and I step aside and I take a deep breath and get real high and I scream from the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? Welcome to the Caffeinated Podcast. I'm Bubsy. He's the beard. This is
Where
the show where
today you're not only getting caffeinated, you just got serenaded. So
this
I
is the
don't know if
show.
you all can tell already. Probably the ones on YouTube will be able to tell, but on the audio, maybe not so much because we tend to get louder as we get sleepy.
Especially
But it's
me.
been a long week health wise for me. It's been a long week work wise for the Bubsy.
Yeah.
And we're sipping on coffee again and trying to get down to business and get ready to entertain you all a little bit. But Bubsy, I feel like I need to do something first.
Oh.
For those who are listening and watching, Bubsy and I are extremely sorry for the delay on the podcast last week.
That's my fault.
No, it's not his fault.
But
It's
it
just
is.
work. And so we got it up late and we apologize for that. We try to stick to a schedule. But can I tell you something, Bubsy, you may not know just yet? Or maybe I told you, I don't remember. I haven't had enough coffee yet. We
What?
were a day late and we have more views on the YouTube video than the last one being a day or so short. We also have I can't even, it just blows my mind the amount of listens and plays on the audio platform.
So what you're saying
You guys
is
are
we get to delay it
crazy.
again.
Say that again.
So what you're saying is we're delaying it again.
No, not if we can keep away from it. No, we're not. If everything goes well, we'll have it up. If Bubsy can stay awake and throw the thing together, then maybe I'll upload it later. But again, guys, just from the beginning to the end, you all are amazing. And we thank you for everything that you do. And the fact that you all have done that, y'all are, I can't even think of a better word than fantastic. Y'all are just fantastic. Right?
But as you were saying, yes, we do apologize for the late episode. Like I tried to say, and he says it's not. It is mostly my fault.
Nah.
I've had to, for the past week, I've been working roughly 12-hour shifts at work due to a merger between our company and another. I am now employed by the new company, but there's been a lot of work. So I have
a lot of work.
Yeah, I've worked every day for the past like 13 days. Today is my first day off. I've slept. So I am not nearly as awake as probably should be for the podcast.
But you all know how he is. That energy will start to bubble and it'll start to come out.
Either that or I'm just going to be extremely slap
It'll
happy
be
for the
there.
entire podcast.
I will say this, if he does start to snore, then you all get to make fun of him online forever. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm just trying to say, people already make fun of me on the internet. Do your worst. I'd like to see you try.
Yeah.
Because
Now, I will
10
say
times
this
out of
as
10
well, too.
times, I probably hate myself more than you hate me. So
While we're talking about new stuff, I have an extra screen now. That's why you all see me looking kind of over in this direction. Instead of having to pop back and forth, I can actually see Bubsy and I at the same time. So I don't have to think, did I just do something stupid on screen? I can, all that stuff.
We
so
did
if you see
a
me kind of
thing.
peering over this way, that's where my notes are. That's where Bubsy is. That's why. So, and I know for those on audio, it's like, why are you wasting time telling me this? So,
hey, having extra screens is fantastic. Okay.
Well, it does help me anyway, because I have a hard time sometimes. And hopefully this is going to help me do that better. Even though, like I said, you all will see me looking over there. And yes, I'm being stupid right now. I'm stuck, but I'm not. And Bubsy made his first face of the night. Cha-ching.
That's actually like the fifth, but sure. Cheers.
So last week,
Also,
Bubs,
wait, hang on.
go ahead.
Speaking of cheersing, should we talk about this?
Oh, I don't know. Do you think we should?
I think so.
You think we should share?
I mean, no, give me all the coffee. All of it. It's all mine. It's all mine.
Well, you know, we have said in the past that it's called the Caffeinated Podcast for a reason. Bubsy probably doesn't like his coffee near as much as I do.
I just enjoy caffeine.
Yeah, he just enjoys caffeine.
Yeah. Which is why we instead of call it
one day last week, and amongst all the other chaos, was feeling kind of rough, to be quite honest. But I got a text message that said, "Hey, bud, I'd be interested in sponsoring the podcast." And of course, my initial reaction for those watching on YouTube was, "What?"
Wait, which I will say before we go deeper, this is still being finalized. We're still working on everything.
Yeah, we're still working on it. It is going to happen. We're doing it short term to begin with, and we're going to start around the 1st of September. Now, the company that has asked to be a sponsor and wanted to know if it was interested is the one. Well, my hat says Coffeetarian. Bubsy's got a coffee cup that says Coffeetarian. And just real briefly, what that means is they want to get really good coffee, which it is. It is probably the smoothest coffee I've ever drank, period. And I drink a lot of coffee. I'm just saying. But
coffee snow.
They also give to humanitarian causes. They give to different charities. There's one or two or so that they sponsor each and every month. And if I remember correctly, and I'll have more of the information when we actually do it, they actually do it for a couple of months to make sure that they're actually able to help these folks out. Now, the cool thing is, even now, if you look Coffeetarian up online and you go to their store and you decide you want to buy some coffee, I would try Cowboy Blend to start. It's amazing. Not the only most amazing, but amazing. When you check out with your coffee, if you will put BEARD, BARD, in the discount code, they will give you 10% off your coffee. That's already active. You can use that now, and you will not be disappointed. Plus, just on the outside note, they ship anywhere in the United States for free.
And also, obviously, that using that promo code will help to support the podcast if you also want to do that as well.
Absolutely. It will help support the podcast. Now, Bubsy, what we're going to go ahead and do, though, is put the store's website and the code in the description for the podcast. That way, anybody that hears it can just look at it and they can go and it's done. So, but the sponsorship or the ad will be more detailed later on. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. You know, because we want to give you the best information and we're just kind of getting you the highlights right now.
Yeah.
So last week, Bubs,
I napped.
He tried anyway. Let's put it that way. But last week we talked about what would you do, you know, and it just kind of boiled down to, in my opinion, and you all can tell me if I'm wrong. You know, it to me, it just boils down into the person that you are. You know, make the decision who you're going to be, no matter what it is, and be that person no matter what the situation. So you already have defined what you would do. And even though we had quite a bit of fun thinking about our new business venture, Overthunk,
we recorded that what on the what, the 20th or the 21st or whatever.
I'm sorry.
So when day did we record that? Because I think it was like the day before I did like a 12-hour shift.
Yeah, it was like the day before or the day after a 12-hour shift. One of the two.
Yeah.
It was pretty rough. So Overthunk, right? So we had fun, but again, the topic itself was a little bit heavy, and we don't want to be just heavy. We want to be fun, interesting, informative, all that good stuff. So with Bubsy working so hard, you all are at the mercy of my mind which that in itself should scare you all just a little bit.
I mean, it scares me. That's enough, right?
It sometimes it scares me. That's why I say part of our goal with you all is to get you out of your headspace, because if it's anything like mine, it's dark and it's scary in there, and nobody needs to do that. So the title for today's podcast is called The Last Nerve. And we're going to talk about,
You mean the one that I get on all the time?
About pet peeves. What'd you say, brother?
You mean the one that I get on all the time?
Well, he is my son. Let's see. Would he annoy me at ever? Let's think about that for just a second. Now, listen. Anyway.
I do it on purpose.
So it's going to be all about pet peeves. And, we call them pet peeves. Why? Because everybody has one, right? Or two, or three, or whatever. Now, Bubsy, just before I get into the full breakdown, before we let the rabbits run, what are pet peeves? That's what we're going to talk about first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pet peeves are those things that just annoy the living daylights out of us, right? And then we're going to talk about what it is.
Can I be my own pet peeve?
Huh?
Can I be my own pet peeve?
I am mine sometimes. I'll give you that. I will give you that.
About to say, because I'm pretty sure it's me.
About a few of the more common ones, and maybe some uncommon ones. I don't know. It just depends on what's on the list. There are certain things that annoy everybody, and I've got one just for Bubsy, and I'm probably going to start out with that one because it'll get him excited, get his blood boiling, and it'll wake him up.
You won't wake me when I'm angry.
And then one of the things that we're going to talk about as well is kind of what can you do about pet peeves? I mean, if yours are like mine, sometimes they involve 2,000-pound pieces of machinery, and it's not good for me to lose my temper, right? So maybe we can figure out what we can do, and maybe it'll help with our relationships with our significant others, whoever they may be, or our friends or whatever, because, they get on our nerves, right? And then, Bubsy, maybe you and I will just share a couple or two or three of our most annoying pet peeves. And we'll see, hopefully, everybody who's been leaving a comment and all that stuff will share some of theirs with us. So are you ready to go, Bubsy?
No, but sure.
Go ahead. Can you tell he's tired, y'all?
And
of course,
feel like I'm not talking
allergy season. It's not died yet, unfortunately. So my
eyes are watering. I definitely feel like I'm not talking enough, and I also feel like I'm just going like.
You will. See, the thing about it is he's got it planned. The way his camera is situated, he can nod off, and it just looks like he's agreeing. So. Anyway, so Bubsy, what do you think? What exactly is a pet peeve?
Everything.
Give me your definition.
Everything that exists. Everything is annoying.
Not everything is annoying, right? Surely I'm not annoying. Excuse me. I know that was annoying. Sorry. Y'all see this face?
Boy.
And for those on audio, can you hear this face? Even if I didn't have a camera, I could hear that from the other room. Right? So you think everything's annoying?
All the time.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to have to read the definition of a pet peeve that I found. Since he's not cooperating, y'all pray for me, would you please?
What would you say? Am I getting on your last nerve now?
Not yet, but I'll let you know when you do.
All right, we'll circle back.
Is a behavior or display that generates slight annoyance in people. I would argue with the word slight. But
it has like tiers. There's like stubbing your toe, which actually no, I need to it's like a peer. Stubbing your toe, it's like a peer. That's not the lowest level, because I don't know about you, but I've stubbed my toe sometimes, and it's like the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I don't know about anybody else. But like, what am I trying to say?
How is it you stub your little toe and the top of your head hurts? That's all I want to know about that. That's what happens to me. If I stub my little toe, I feel it in my hair.
I feel it everywhere. Like, I don't know about you, but
Oh,
like,
it's crazy.
there's something about that tiny little toe that just controls a whole lot of things.
Right? Well, again, the definition that they have is that it's a slight annoyance in people. Now, they did say that these are things that aren't so inappropriate or so rude that they necessarily warrant taking action, but they're generally so bothersome that make you want to at least, at the minimum,
Cringe.
roll your eyes in frustration.
All right.
Right?
Well, I decided instead of cringing and rolling my eyes to drop kick the situation. Can I roll an attack roll?
Yeah.
Nat 20.
Right. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot to go in. You all know what it is. There are certain things that bother you that may not bother anybody else. And there's probably things about, and I ain't gonna say there's things about us that we do that I know are pet peeves to other people. But like I said, I want to try to get Bubsy awake, get him a little bit motivated. So Bubsy, I seem to remember in a previous podcast
Me last week
that you mentioned something that I'm assuming, I don't know, would be a pet peeve of yours, but an extremely large peeve, maybe.
extremely.
And he called it, let's see, what was it, if I can remember it right. Oh, I got it. It was replying to all
On an all employee email. Oh my gosh.
on an all employee email.
I'm just
So
saying.
would you like to go into a little bit of just to give us a little example if you can't, not actual example, but you know what I'm
I
saying.
can't actually give you an example, but like one of those, what is it, the all employee emails, like, hey, if you this needs to be done by this date. If you have any questions, contact me. Okay, makes sense.
Notice it said me.
You're supposed to contact the person who sent the email, but instead you reply all and contact everyone at the company. I'm just saying, I don't know about you, but if it's like a health thing, I really don't need to know about your toe fungus. Okay?
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
I 100% don't need to know about your toe fungus. Or it's like, oh, whoever contact this person, please contact them back. I don't know about you, but that actually doesn't even really need a reply. So why do you reply to everyone?
All right. I got to let him off the hook just a smidge. Because mine is kind of the same. I don't like group emails of any kind. I mean,
sometimes
like
they're necessary.
Messages or texts of any kind. Because the question may be answered quickly. And as Bubsley so aptly put it, then they start talking about everything and their brother's twin cousin, Sam, and everything else over and over and over again. So
it
can be a little much.
Also, I just thought of another part to that all reply email.
Okay.
When people are like leaving the job or like they're retiring or whatever, and people say, you know, the supervisor says, hey, this is their last day, please wish them a goodbye or whatever. Why do you have to reply to all about somebody else leaving? I don't know about you, but I would rather just contact the person because it seems more of a pride thing that you're contacting everybody.
I don't know. I don't understand half the stuff that goes on. But, you know, how do I say this? I found a couple of lists, and there were more. I just picked a couple of lists. One had 60 common pet peeves. The other one had over 70 common pet peeves. Now, I'm going to save my most notorious pet peeve. And Bubby knows one of the things that drives me absolutely insane. You know, no, not you.
I pointed at myself. Okay.
Yeah, he pointed at himself. But like the one on this list, and I'm wondering if I should just read it or try to sound effect it.
Do it.
Here, how about this? This is number 2. This would be part of it.
A question. I don't know which one you didn't like, the slurp or the ah.
All of it. The
Oh,
loud chewing
sensual.
or the loud drinking. I mean, come on, we get it. It's liquid. Knock it off, right? Or oh, come on, yeah, come on. I cannot be the only one, Bubsy.
On my pet peeve
That
is
when you
people
get
saying,
to the
"Come on."
bottom of the cup, you know it's empty, but the straw.
Obviously, it's not empty. I'm trying to get all of the delicate and juice from the bottom, and you're disrupting me. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, come on, guys.
Hey,
It absolutely destroys me to hear somebody eat loud and drink loud. I mean, come on, the soup slurp every time, every time.
hey,
I mean,
that soup
do
was
you need some
busting.
training with spoon? I mean,
That soup was busting.
I don't know. You got a problem with that, Bubsy? Does that bother you? Is that one of the things that bothers you? Is that one of your pet peeves?
No,
Doesn't bother you a bit.
nope.
Okay. All right. Well,
I know it
that's one
bothers
of those
you
that I'm
because I
going to
did it a
throw
lot
out
as a
there to
child.
our audience, to our family members that listen.
Well, see, I know it bothered you as a child because I did it all the time. So,
Right? I could actually show them what you did that I thought was hilarious, but I'm not going to do it. He just had this thing that he did every time he ate. It was like
oh, the
the
chameleon.
lizard.
Yeah.
The lizard. Yeah, he and we won't demonstrate, because the ones but he would like stick his tongue all the way out
I'm catching it. Okay,
to
I'm
take a bite
catching
of
it.
everything. It wasn't a pet peeve, but it was
Cute.
cute. It was very cute. I ain't gonna lie. But if any of you all out there have a problem with the loud chewing or talking or drinking, I want to know. Because surely to good, it cannot. I cannot be the only one. I mean, it just absolutely destroys my meal. I want to enjoy my food. I don't want to enjoy your food.
See, what takes me off is people. My pet peeve, at least as far as like food, is people who can't cook a steak.
Right. And that's and that's kind of that kind of goes
Like,
back and forth.
especially if you're hired to cook a steak. Like if you actually go to like a steakhouse and there's something wrong with your steak.
Everybody always says the cooking steak is easy, but it takes a really good cook. It takes a really good chef to cook a rare steak properly. And he's like,
I'm just saying. I'm just.
If you can cook a rare steak, you can cook the rest of them. I'm just saying.
Like
Yeah,
I
he's
said,
showing you the hand thing. If you want to describe that for those that you're
so it's supposed to be that you can feel how done a steak is, and know that you have it cooked to the right wherever you want it. So the way that you're supposed to do that is you can actually judge it based on the fatty piece of your thumb right here. So it's supposed to be like, this is rare, this is medium rare, this is medium, and this is well. So if you do that in order, you can tell how done your
I
steak
have
is.
been told 2 or 3 times from people who cook a lot that that's pretty accurate. So I don't know. All right, Bubsy, I got one. Would you consider being late a pet peeve?
Yes, and I hate myself because I'm late all the time.
Well, that wasn't what I was going at. Well, maybe I should have said it this way. Would you consider people being late one of my pet peeves?
Yes.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: it's one of
Go ahead.
mine. It is one of my pet peeves, but I'm also late all the time. So I'm always angry at myself about that. It's horrible.
So the
It's
person that is annoying you the most with that is you?
Yes. Yeah, it's
Okay. I have
I
heard
like
this
sleep.
statement all my life from my grandmother and other people. I also heard it from a friend at church who says it this way. This is my philosophy on being late. If you're 15 minutes early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. Now, the friend at church, he always asks, as he said, and if you're 15 minutes late, you're left, meaning he's not going to wait on you. If you're that late, you'll be there by yourself.
I'm just
But
saying, our church has no room to stand in that point, considering we'll.
I know it's one guy. One guy. I'm just saying. But and I think Bubsy, I think the reason that a lot of people have trouble with the whole being late thing is they take it as being disrespectful.
Because you're not respecting people's
their
time.
time is not important enough for you to be there on time. I mean, you think that's what it would be?
Well, I mean, like that repair company, they definitely didn't respect mine.
Well, I don't think they respected much of anything, to be quite honest with you. But that's a whole different story.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is, do you think that that's what makes
Probably.
people get so upset and annoyed about being late is they feel like they're being disrespected?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Can
So what about you, Bubs? You got one? Do you have a pet peeve that you want to share?
Human jukeboxes, and I am one. So that's another one where I take myself off.
It's all right.
Human jukeboxes.
Okay. All right. Explain this one.
Is it? I thought that was pretty. Like, you say something like, "Oh, you mean this song?" Starts singing it as loud as can be.
Well, I will.
And I am one, so.
Yeah, but
Put a
I have
dime
to
in
be
the
honest,
jukebox.
y'all. I have to be honest. He learned it from someone very close to me.
Sam.
Who, if you say the right word, breaks out into song all the time.
I at least take it like a step further. I break out into song and dance.
They don't call me Twinkle Toes for nothing. They don't call me Twinkle Toes for nothing.
Do you notice he said that like that was supposed to make the whole situation better? Not only do you get a song, you get a floor show.
I'm just letting you know, okay? I am a master at jazz hands, okay?
Somebody help me, please. I'm just saying. Oh, my word. But no, I mean, I get it. I mean, there's a time and a place.
I'm half asleep. You're getting slap happiness. Okay, it's all you.
Yeah, I know. And, what was I going to say? There's a time and a place. And there's a time that it's funny, even. But like most things that can be funny, if the timing goes too far or is not on par, then it switches from funny to, well, annoying.
So we're going back to the Trolls video?
Well, yeah, no.
Well,
it just blows my mind. All right, I got one here, Bubsy.
Hit me with it.
Do you, and this one does kind of get to me. All right. So one of the common pet peeves they says is standing too close to another person. When somebody stands too close to you, when they burst your personal space bubble, is that annoying to you?
No, I love you and let me stand close to you. He does this to me all the time. He's like, "Get back! You're taking all my oxygen."
Right?
Go away.
I just.
But I'm like, I love
you. And I love him too. But when people get too close, it's like, okay, no, it does get to me.
You want to socially distance all the time, even before COVID.
Yeah, I'm kind of that way. I mean, I'm good for a quick hug most of the time, but don't come in and stand and want to talk for a half an hour. It scares me almost. All right. For those of you that have heard any of the podcasts and heard me talk about myself, I do have a thing with depression and anxiety. I wasn't sure how I was going to say it whatever, but so it makes me a little anxious. It actually, for me, starts to get a little claustrophobic when somebody's standing too close.
We kick depression's hiney.
Right?
All right.
So, but again, to me, it's almost rude when you walk up on somebody and you stand there. Now, I will tell you this. I did a thing on TikTok a while back, because I don't know if this would go together or not, but Have you ever been someplace like an elevator and a total stranger just starts having a conversation with you?
Yeah.
You know, like the elevator ride's not that long. I don't know you. You don't have to talk to me. I'm cool
I don't
with
know
the
about
silence.
you. Okay, but here's the thing. I am in no shape, form, or fashion an extrovert normally. Okay. Very introverted. I'd rather not talk, to be completely honest. But there are just some awkward situations where you have got to talk your way out of it. Okay? And I'm just saying, big building, 20 floors, I'm gonna talk in the elevator.
Well,
I'm
I guess,
just
sorry
saying,
about the
if
noise.
you're
I didn't mean to
looking
do
at
that.
me, and I'm standing on the other side of the elevator, I'm gonna say, "What's up?" Okay? That might be a "Hi, how you doing?" or "Square up." Okay? It's gonna be one of the two. Depends on how they take it. All right?
Well, the thing I did for TikTok, I thought was kind
What
of
up?
funny. But here's what I would suggest. And
If you
you
don't-
can use it as a conversation starter or a conversation stopper, either way. But the next time you're in that situation and that person, maybe it's just, we'll just use the elevators example. That's a little close quarters anyway. But this total stranger starts having a conversation with you. Just look them in the eye and as serious as you can pull off, go, "Can you see me?"
No.
And like I said,
That-
it'll either
that
be a
is-
conversation starter
No,
or a
no.
conversation stopper.
That is not how you handle this. You have to demand dominance. So you stare them straight in the eye, lift your leg, high kick the railing, and leave it there.
No.
Like, this is my elevator. You're not allowed to
This
leave.
is a comedy show. This is satirical completely. Please do
Please
not take
don't
that piece
actually-
of advice.
Okay, if you don't want to talk,
Do not try that at home.
if you do not want to talk, but you at least don't want to be rude, just hit him with the head shake. This the
Sup,
sup.
sup.
But
All right.
yes, okay. If we're on a long elevator, I will tell you my life story. Good luck.
Okay. Bubsy, I have one that I think I know would be a pet peeve of yours.
Okay, hit me with
Something
it.
that annoys you and me both.
Hit me with it.
Slow internet.
Oh yeah. Actually, here's the thing. I've moved past slow internet, and I've entered slow computers because people
gotcha.
don't understand that they should upgrade their hard drives and no longer use the spinny disks. Okay? Specifically, like, spinny disks are incredibly slow now compared to every other piece of this computer. So why, when I want to access a file, should it take 10 minutes to open?
Well, that's true.
Okay. When if I had just a SSD, and I say spinny disk because I used to do computer repair. That was my first job. I went through all of high school, got a bunch of certs. I'm certified within Microsoft Office package something, whatever. I forget which cert I have. It's been a long time. It's been 5 years. Wow, I'm such a boomer. Boomer. But hard drives, the way that they work is they take a bunch of disks coated in platinum and they spin incredibly fast. And that is how you retrieve data off of your computer. They have upgraded that so that there's no moving parts and it is extremely fast. It's called a solid state drive compared to a hard drive. Simple as that. Much faster. I mean, much faster because there's no moving parts. You don't have to wait for it to spin up to how many rounds per minute it has to be so you can finally open your your Word doc or whatever.
I got you. No, I understand. And especially since we still have a computer in the building, in our house, that would probably work faster if it had a hand crank on the side of it.
So I will say, so my computer and his computer have SSDs. There's computers in our house that do not, and I hate them.
It's the noises that you hear when they're being slow.
At least it's
You
not
know, 'cause
dial-up
everybody's gonna,
anymore.
why is this thing being so stupid?
Hey,
You know, why is this thing not doing the?
hey, like I said, at least it's not having to like get into dial-up anymore. At least we're
True.
past dial-up. Okay.
For those of you that now, granted, I've looked at
Do
our
the sound. Do
quote
the
unquote
sound.
podcast, right? And I don't think many of the people that have been listening to our podcast do not know what that dial-up noise is.
Do it.
But for you
Do it.
that are what, 20 and younger or whatever, you don't have any clue the pain of dial-up, because it's not like, hey, turn your computer on and do something. It's like, okay, click the internet.
10 minutes later. Hey,
10 minutes
can
later,
you log in, please?
then you can log in. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
And then you open the
So-
internet.
Yeah, it was not good. Now, it was good when you didn't, because we had it, we at least had something. But the things today are so much better. Y'all don't know how much better you have it. So
Oh, I mean,
be
I do,
happy for
but-
the internet that you have, even when it's slow. Because I'm going to tell you right now that even when it's slow today, it's still 1,000 times faster than dial-up.
And all those people who hated on Windows 8, at least it wasn't Windows Vista. Okay.
Go for it. All right, Bubsy, I got another.
Hit me with it.
And I know for a fact that this bothers you, and it also bothers me. And I'm sure that our listeners are going to tell us that it bothers them. And I'm going to add another part to it as well. Slow drivers. You know who I'm talking about.
No,
It does not matter what the posted speed is,
I got
but
you.
they are.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't have an issue with slow drivers. You want to know why? Well, okay, I will rephrase this. I don't have an issue with slow drivers as long as they're not in front of me.
That's the problem when they get in front of you. How many people, raise your hand, have been on the interstate and you've got the one that gets in the fast lane who is not going fast?
Or
Right.
even the speed limit.
Or even, yeah, even this. See, I could handle it better if more times than not they were actually driving the speed limit, but they usually drive 5 or 10 miles an hour under the speed limit. Or, like I said, I was going to add something else in here, and Bubsy knows this one drives me nuts. It's the ones I called the yo-yo driver. The ones that speed up really fast and then slow down, and then speed up really fast and then slow down. Okay, I get it. You're having trouble making up your mind, but for the love of God, please pick a speed.
I don't actually. There's one worse than that, and it's the people who use their brake for everything.
Right?
Because they're
Oh, I saw
like, at least
headlights.
with the yo-yo driver, like they're just letting off the gas. Like I get that. Like maybe your foot's tired, something like that. Put on cruise control. We can fix that. But people who brake for everything, like I'm talking. Oh, I'm going up a hill and I'm already slowing down because gravity. Let me brake on the hill. And then they're
And
like,
better yet, when they crest the hill to go down the other side,
they brake.
slow down again.
It's like, dude, okay, posted is 55. You're going 45 up the hill and then decide it's okay to slow down to 30 going down.
Now, I don't want to come out to state troopers, worldwide or whoever, whatever. Okay, but you guys know, not everybody, not every human being that's on the interstate or anywhere drives the speed limit. More times than not, they're driving a little bit over the speed limit.
It's actually probably more irregular to actually be going the speed limit for most people.
I would say you're probably right. And the reason I'm saying it this way is I know the slow drivers, their intention really probably, hopefully,
It's safety.
is not
but
to
it's
annoy. It's not to annoy.
Well,
right?
we'd hope at least
But
that their
they are
intention
putting
is
themselves and us in danger by not
Right.
driving the common speed.
Well, here's my thing. You would hope that their intention would to be safe, but in fact, they drive unsafe. So, like, people say that there are like passive and aggressive drivers. What you need to be is a balanced driver.
Come on, tell them again.
Balance.
Right?
Balance.
Because if you are overly aggressive, you're dangerous. If you're overly passive, you're dangerous. Okay. And I don't care where you are. If you're in the fast lane and people are trying to pass you in the slow lane, you're in the wrong lane.
Also, have you ever looked at the statistics for car color related to car crashes?
No.
So obviously, red cars are tippy top for like, hey, you're probably going to be in a wreck. That's also, if you didn't know, red cars are more expensive. They also cost more on insurance just by being the color red. Okay, that's one thing. But they are, by percentage, more likely to crash. And that's because the people who buy them go faster and are worse drivers. The second one...
Yeah, I can probably see that.
The second one actually blew my mind. I was thinking it was going to be like blue or black. It's actually gray as the second percentage of most likely to be in a crash. The reason for that is it's a more common color. But red is actually a less common color, but it's higher, which is crazy.
Gotcha. You just made, when you said gray, that one brain cell that functioned must have got a drink of coffee because it made me think of something.
My brain got a sip.
Since we're talking about drivers, okay?
Yeah.
And again, it's not my job to tell any of you all out there anything. I will make a suggestion though. If it is raining, right? And whether you drive a gray car or not, but just for example, if you drive a gray car, if it is raining and you drive a gray car, turn on your stinking headlights so that everybody else can see you. You can see everybody else because they turned their headlights on, but that does not mean that they can see you. That's one of those things that, yeah, I should have saved that for the last section because that's one of those things that drives me insane because, again, it's not just that you're putting your life in danger. You're putting somebody who, like Bubsy said, if all of a sudden you stop.
Well, and I will say, we also live in Kentucky, so we get really bad fog. Okay.
Right.
Not as bad as Tennessee. Tennessee, I will say, has worse fog than Kentucky. But as far as fog goes, we have usually really foggy mornings. Please use your headlights.
Yeah. It's if for nothing else, if you don't need them to see, I know the argument. I used to make the argument myself. Honestly, using the headlights, will it help you see? Probably.
It's a safety
Is it about you
thing.
seeing? Probably not. It's about somebody else being able to see you and keep you and whoever else is in the automobile with you safe. There are so many pet peeves about driving, and like I said, I'm saving one for my most. Bubsy knows. He's driven with me for too many years. You know, he knows the one I'm saving. So
I got one as far as like driving goes. If you want another one,
go for it. Go.
The passenger touching the radio.
That's
all right.
A no.
Okay, we have a rule in our family. I don't know if anybody else has this, but the driver gets to pick the music.
Yep.
Okay.
Doesn't always work, but we've always
don't touch the radio. Don't touch the volume. Driver gets to decide. Now, here's the thing. I'm usually a nice guy. I listen to music very, very loud. He can attest, considering he can hear me pull up outside.
Yeah. Well,
I will turn it down for you. I will turn it down for you. You should not touch it. Don't touch my radio. We will fight in the street. I will win and drive away. Thank you. This has been a PSA.
Well, I want to do at least one more before we move on because I know we're not hitting a whole lot, guys, and honestly, we're both really tired, and we wanted to hang out with you all for a little bit, so we wanted to bring you something that maybe you could laugh about, maybe you could relate to, maybe you can't. So how about this one, Bubsy?
Let us fuel your road rage.
Right? Let us feel I have road rage at Walmart with a shopping cart. What are you talking about? It's just who I am. But how about this one? Saying no offense after something insulting. Do you think that's a pet peeve for anybody?
Well, I think it's just more rude than anything. But like, I don't mean to be offensive, but...
Or maybe you can take the no offense and put in there when they start off with, well, nothing personal.
Yeah.
and it's always personal.
Here's the
right?
thing. Here's the thing. I'm gonna be offensive. I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest.
And,
Right.
and I will say, usually, if I'm going to be offensive, it is probably meant to be a joke, and I will try to be as sarcastic as possible. But this is also another reason that we need to come up with a sarcastic text. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There
has to be a font that is for sarcasm only. Call it sarcasm.
I hate Comic Sans, but if it's Comic Sans, let's stick to it. But the thing is, just let me know what it is. Okay?
Yeah.
Leave a comment. Let me know what it is.
You know, we're talking about things that annoy. All right. When people say no offense after they've said something, or, well, no offense, but, you know, we know what's coming.
Well, I get it. I don't have offense.
Absolutely. It drives me insane. You know, one of the things on the list, Bubsy, and like I said, I don't want to talk about this one too much because I'm pretty sure that's one that would hurt everybody's feelings. The no offense or nothing personal. You know, that's going to get on everybody's nerve. Like I said, we're talking about the last nerve, right?
Everybody.
Now, Bubsy is my boy. I'm his dad. And I saw one on the list that says leaving the water running. That one doesn't bother me as bad as going into a room and turning the light on and leaving the light.
No. Don't skip the water one. Okay, because I don't care if it's running full blast. What I care about is it dripping.
Oh yeah,
okay. If it's I
can't do the sound. Yeah. Now that would be annoying. That'll drive you nuts. But
wait, I can make it better. Hang on.
So does leaving the light on in the house. You know, so we'll talk about a couple of house pet peeves. That's one of mine. If you go into a room and you need the light to see, by all means, turn the light on. But when you leave the room, please, dear Lord, please
turn the light off.
Turn the light off. I feel like the old man dad. Even though, yes, I'm old and I'm a man, but
here's the thing.
I'm constantly going around turning the lights off.
If someone leaves the light on, you just gotta walk up and be like, "You pay these bills."
All right, Colton.
I didn't do it.
Bubsy.
I didn't do it.
My friend.
I still didn't do
Bubba.
it. I'm
going to talk about one that we do around here all the time. All right. And please, somebody answer this in the comments. We've got a lot. We're usually very busy around here. A lot of times we're running here, there, and everywhere. We do a lot of different things with school, with our school that we're that we're in, and all that stuff. And Bubsy's working a lot of hours and all this stuff. So, but I want to know, does anybody else out there play trash Jenga?
Dude, that's not mine.
What? I don't even know what that is. Oh, come on. The trash can's full, but let's not take it outside. Let's see how high we can stack the stuff on top of it before somebody else has to take it outside. Right? I don't mind taking the trash out most of the time. But when it's that full and I have to get a trash bag and there's enough stuff on top of it to fill it, I don't know. What do you think, Bubsy?
Hey, that just means I did a good job. Okay. If you have to get another trash bag, and I did it with one trash bag, I did a great job.
What I put up with.
I'm being sarcastic. But...
I know. Comic Sans, right?
Hit me with a Comic Sans.
But, you know, I mean, am I the only one that kind of stuff bothers? I mean, you know, and again, if we're talking about house stuff, how about this one? We're just going to throw it out and then we're going to move on to ours, our most prominent ones, because we've probably been talking long enough about pet peeves. And I hope you all have had a good time. That was the thing, is to just hang out and have a good time. But if you see something that bothers you bad enough to mention about it, like taking the trash out, why not take the trash out? Don't come to another room and go, well, we need to take the trash out, which translate means you need to take the trash out.
I ain't in your pocket.
You know, we can put that with anything, can't we, Bubsy? Well, we need to give the dogs a bath. Who's we? You got a mouse in your pocket, as they say around here all the time. But that's just, you all right, man?
I don't know. Something just got in my eye. It's bothering me real bad.
I'm sorry. So let's do this. Let's move on.
Pet peeve, something in your eyeball.
We've talked about a lot of different stuff. Let's do this. Let's talk about what can we do. All right.
Drop, kick them.
Well, that might work.
Specifically the cars.
Now, unfortunately, I did look a little bit. Now, I didn't look a lot, right? Didn't have a whole lot of time.
Look a little bit.
But I found 8 tips for approaching pet peeves in your relationship. So this is more about relationship stuff than total strangers, all right? Because I have seen this done before, right? But have you ever called anybody out on a pet peeve in public, Bubsy? Have you? I mean, like a total stranger? For those of you are listening on audio only, if you did not hear the rattle, he was aggressively shaking his head.
Oh,
it looked really good on video, so I suggest finding the YouTube.
we need to start doing TikTok clips, my guy. Oh.
Yeah, I need to sit down and start doing that. We're planning on doing that. We're setting up just for clips from
Here's the thing. My headphones were moving, and I was trying to make them not fly off and hit the camera, so I'm like hands over ears, shaking my head violently.
Yeah.
I was almost at a rock concert. That's how heavy I was shaking my head.
Put the list together. Bubsy says that if you do that in your relationship, it's really not going to change the behavior, and more likely it's going to start an argument.
Oh,
and, there are certain pet peeves that you will see in relationships, whether it just be boyfriend, girlfriend, whether it be married or whatever, like you drive too fast, or you're too close, or you're this or you're that, it just is what it is.
All I have to say, where did love? Where's the love?
Just be careful, because you may not get the reaction that you want if you call them out in public. That's all I'm going to say. Now, one of the other things they said to do, Bubsy, was we have to let people who are doing it, and again, this is talking about relationships. I wouldn't recommend it with a total stranger, because that would just be weird, but you go up to it,
My pet peeve was just them picking their nose.
I really like it when you chew with your mouth closed instead of open, so that, you let them know what you like and what you don't like. If you did that with a stranger,
Hey, I'm just saying,
it's going to work near as well.
I'm just saying, I called the person out. That was the stranger out. He was picking his nose, and I mean, he was like full on diving for a minute. Okay, I could understand if it was like a 15-second quickie, just like and done. But dude was digging. Okay, he had to know. Like, dude, I will buy you a pack of tissues. Huh?
Was he third knuckling it, giving himself a lobotomy?
Bro, it was like, not only was he like up in his nose, but I'm saying good minute. Like, actually, good minute.
I got you.
Like, I got you. I can understand, like, ooh, yep, done. Sorry, it itched. Like, okay, I'm going to go wash my hands. We're good.
Well,
full minute.
Got you. Yeah, no. But
I had to let him know.
Again, this is stuff that if you're in a relationship, I mean, again, I don't think it would work the same with a total stranger. But if there's pet peeves in a relationship, which there will be, my wife and I have been married for 30 years. Trust me.
I'm single.
We have pet peeves about the other one, right? And again, if it's just a relationship and something getting started, guys, I will say this. You got to decide, is that pet peeve a deal breaker or not? Is it something that's going to stop you? As look, I can't, again, what Bubsy just described, would that be a deal breaker for most people?
I have to sneeze really bad. It's not coming out.
I'm sorry. But, again, it's talking about consider solutions. Bless you.
Here we go. I had to stare at my light for a second. Oh, gosh, I feel much better.
Solutions. Consider if there's something you can do that'll take your mind off of it. If you're not in a situation where you can talk to a total stranger, then you're going to have to find something else to take your mind off of it. That's just all there is to it. There's no way. And,
it's a good thing there's cell phones now, okay? Because like I said, I will call people out, bro. Just Oh, that's another pet peeve. If you're sitting at a table, doing a date, get off your phone. Like, dude.
Well, I have seen people on a date sitting on a couch. They're doing this. You can't see. I'm doing the texting motion. And the funny part is they were texting each other.
Bro, I'm just gonna FaceTime like my date sitting across from them.
You know,
Say, hey girl, you so beautiful. I had to see you twice.
Bubsy, let's do it like this.
You don't think that one was slick? I thought that was a pretty good one.
Pretty good. No, I thought it was a good one. I'm just saying, what can we do when we're in the situation and we need to overcome that annoyance, overcome that pet peeve?
Drop kick them.
I thought he was going to say throat punch, but
I've done that before, and
again,
it was actually really funny.
This is an advisory. Do not take this advice to heart. Do not try this at home.
This is a satirical podcast.
No.
All right. Okay.
No.
Just what's the name of they made me read it in high school. I'm trying to remember the name of it. But it's that Irish dude who said we need to eat the children in Ireland. It was that satirical work. He was like,
I know.
This is the problem. The kids are eating too much food and they're all orphans. So here's what we do. We eat the children.
It's like,
Yeah.
it was like a whole satirical work that made me read it in high school. I agreed with it because I knew it was sarcasm, but there were some people who did not understand that it was sarcastic.
Yeah, I don't know.
They did not get
It's just like most things today, right? You can say something,
You know what it was?
do something, and somebody out there nowadays is going to take it completely out of context. See, that's one of my, I'm going to add this here, but remind me to say this again when we talk about our most annoying pet peeves, because that's one of mine.
Being taken out of context.
That you cannot share your opinion anymore, and it be just that and not an attack on somebody else. Just remember that one when we get there. But I guess since we're talking about what to do, Bubs, you have to decide what's important. That's what I'm going to say.
Drop kicking them.
Is the thing that's driving you crazy important enough for you to step out and do something about it right then? Is it something that you can overlook for a little while? Can you find something else to distract you? I mean, if it's in a relationship, then you're going to have conversations. You're going to have a talk about it. Because if it's not really a deal breaker, but it's still going to be annoying, it is going to come back up. Trust me. You know, I've been in a relationship long enough to know that things that happened 20 years ago still come up in arguments today.
Yep.
Right? It just does. So, but if it's not a deal breaker, then you're going to have to find a way to deal with it. And I'm going to say this. Bubsy brought it up about being on a date, being on your phone. That to me would be a deal breaker, because if I'm not important enough for you to look me in the eyes, that would be a deal breaker for me. Sorry, but it is.
Unless it was for my pickup line, was like, girl, you look too good. I had to see you twice. Like,
well, but what I'm saying is, if you're out with somebody, and let's say the people at the next table are the ones that are stroking that pet peeve guitar of yours.
Well,
no. Playing a tune on your pet peeves.
No.
Is it important enough to you to do something about it, or to just continue on with what you're doing? That's what I'm getting at.
Here's what I'm saying. I've been in that exact situation where I'm sitting and I'm watching it, and I've literally seen the dude look at me and give me like the help me. Where she's just sitting there like, and he's like,
for those of you that couldn't see that, he's mimicking selfies. Just saying. I want to make
wait,
sure you all know exactly what's going on.
I just remembered I didn't do it right. Hang on.
Oh, duck face.
Duck face and the peace sign. Gotta include the peace sign. It's not complete.
Right. Well, and that is going to happen. But what I'm saying, whereas, like, if you're involved in it to the point that somebody else is annoying you, but you're with somebody else, is it worthwhile confronting somebody? Is it worthwhile saying something? I mean, let's be honest. We've all been at the restaurant where somebody in that restaurant is eating like it's their last meal, and it sounds like it's their last meal, and they're eating off everybody else's plate. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? It's just bad. Or I was at a restaurant once, was on a date at the time. I thought I was literally going to have to hurt somebody. And for those of you that are listening to this or watching this, I'm sorry for this noise. But there was a guy behind us. the entire time he was there. About every 5 minutes. And I'm like, at some point, for those of you that cannot see this, I'm going to try to do it on camera so that you can, for the ones that can see it. I was kind of like, how do I say? After about 10, 12 minutes, I'm trying to have a conversation. And then I'm like,
You were
starting to have
tweaking.
that twitch, because it never stopped. I mean, granted, there was a part of me that says, somebody get this man a doctor because he's got to be dying at this point. But I looked at the young lady that I was with and I said, I'm sorry. Would you like to coach? She goes, oh, yes, please. So she was trying to be polite and not say anything to me, but she was like, oh, yeah, you get a to-go box.
Thank
We'll eat
you.
in the car, So you just, when it boils right down to it, when it comes to pet peeves, whether it's in a relationship or not, Bubsy, this is all I'll say about it. We have to decide what's important. Is our being annoyed or overwhelmingly annoyed, whatever, we're just going to have to deal with it because we're going to be in situations where it's just going to happen, period. So I mentioned it last week and I've mentioned it probably 2 or 3 times in the podcast. Just make up your mind what you're going to do before you get there. Have a game plan that works better than anything I've ever seen on just about everything. You know what I'm saying, Bubs?
Yeah.
So let's do this. What is your most annoying pet peeve? The thing that gets you beyond anything else. And like I said, I've got a couple. So if you've got a couple, that's fine.
I've got one I know for sure.
All right,
Okay.
go for it.
Uncontrolled kids in public. Okay,
Oh.
because we can go back to the restaurant, but I'm talking airplanes, restaurants, parks. Of course, I say parks a little, but I'm talking the kid's being a menace, not like he's just running around. I'm talking he's being a menace. Okay, so airplanes, kicking your seat, just being obnoxiously loud. Restaurants, the dude is at my table, grabbing for
We've
my
actually had
food.
it happen before.
Yes, grabbing for my food. The kid is kicking the booth. Had a kid climb over the booth and fall into our booth. Okay,
I've forgotten about that.
I'm talking.
I really had. I'd forgot about that.
I'm talking uncontrolled kids. Okay,
Right.
not just kids being kids. Okay, but I'm talking so uncontrolled, and the parents are just
I'm sorry.
oh,
He usually doesn't act this way. I'm sorry.
or oh no. And I've been hit with the, what are you doing to my kid?
Saving his life.
Ma'am. Okay, there are Karens, and then there's the Karens who somehow got somebody to reproduce with them. Okay.
So is that Karen and Karen 2.0 or?
No, it's usually Hunter.
Gotcha. No, I'd agree with that. Yeah, it's that's annoying. Even though I have to be completely honest. I tend to be the guy in the other booth that's making faces at the kid.
No.
Trying to get
You
them to
make
laugh and get them
you
wound
make
up.
faces at 2 and under to make them I'm talking the 5 or 6 year olds who are just out
I
there.
got you. I'd agree with that one. Definitely. You got another?
No,
Okay.
I'm
Well,
still
I
not
got a
awake.
couple. I
Tell me
got a
what it-
couple. Well, the first one is what I mentioned a little while ago. It annoys me beyond measure to think that I cannot have a conversation with people and share my ideas and my opinions without being attacked because I don't agree with their ideas and opinions. That's a relatively new pet peeve for me. But as Bubsy will attest, I love to ask questions. I love to have conversations, and I like to ask hard questions so we can have a big conversation. right? I like to get to know people and find out what they're thinking about things. But you can't do that anymore because nobody wants to conversate. They just want to yell at each other.
Yeah, but
Or they want to accuse each other.
but here's the thing about asking questions: we don't usually try to tell people they're wrong either.
Right. But the immediate, if I ask a question that even sounds like I don't agree with somebody, then I'm already wrong. Does that make sense? You know, because it's like all I want to do is connect with people and help if I can. But I can't know how to help if I don't ask questions. But, you know, people will come in and ask me questions trying to get me to make a statement that they can jump on. Like, do you support this or do you support that? Well, quite frankly, what does my opinion about what you support have to do with anything? If you want to know what I think about it in a different term, it's not whether I support them or not. But if you want my opinion, then ask my opinion in a way that it's not designed to start a fight. You know, because I can like and dislike something. You know, I can like some things about something and not support the entire thing.
There's a difference
It's a loaded
between.
question.
I would say there's a difference in saying, "Do you support blank?" and "What do you think about blank?"
Yeah, that should all be together, right? I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Well,
Because
like-
on TikTok, it happens all the time.
I'm just saying. I think if you say support, you're wanting, like, if you don't agree with me, like, I'm going to fight you. Whereas,
Right.
what do you think? You're actually wanting to know what the person.
Yeah, you're actually
knows.
taking the time to find out the person's thoughts instead of just assuming. And that's the way it comes across to me, is that they're just assuming something and they're wanting a fight.
Yeah.
So that's one of my pet peeves. That's a new one. Now, we talked about one at lunch today, quite frankly, which I thought was funny.
Which I wasn't
And-
at.
Yeah, and Bubsy will know this.
I was asleep.
Bubsy
I will.
know this because
I
we've
will
had
say
this
this.
conversation before. I was sitting across from a couple, and I'm sitting there, and their food came before mine, and so I'm just sitting there. We're just kind of chit-chatting. Well, she reaches over her fork and stabs a piece of chicken on his plate. I'm like, you'd be wearing a fork.
They were trying to be
You
cutesy.
you don't invade my space on my plate. I will buy you, and somebody says, no, I will get you anything you want to eat. If you want it, ask for it. You can have it. If you don't eat it all, take it home with you. I don't care. But don't put your thing on my plate and take off my plate.
No. Here's what I'll say. If you ask, in regards to this, if they say, "Hey, would you mind if I try this?" and if I say yes, I will put it on your plate.
That's what I'm saying. She didn't ask. She just stabbed and took. Right.
Like,
So
I
that's
don't know
one of
about
mine.
you.
It's always been one of mine. Maybe it was being raised by myself and not around all my sisters and stuff like that. You know, I was protective of my food, whatever you want to call it.
mine is
But it just, that's one of those things. If if we go through a drive-through, do you want fries? Nah, I don't think I really want any fries. So I order fries for me. And then you going to stick your little grubby fingers in my, no. If you want fries, you tell me you want fries and I'll buy you fries, but leave mine alone. All right. So that's just a little bit about me and my psyche.
That's a little bit about
I'm
me
a
and my
little off,
fries.
y'all. It just, I can't do it. I can't do it. I won't do it to you. And again, I'll ask, but you know, if you don't want me, no, I ain't going to just go for it no matter what.
This is about
So-
me and my fries.
But I have to say this, being 55 years old, and this is going to sound petty to some, but probably my biggest pet peeve
Petty?
is something that has been on your automobile, whatever the manufacturer, since 1966. There's this little lever on the left-hand side, right? And if you move this lever
Well-
up or down, it causes a reaction on your car that oftentimes not sounds like,
That's actually a pretty good impression.
right? And it indicates to the other drivers around you which direction you're trying to turn your 2,000-pound automobile. Use your flip and turn signals, would you please?
Thank you.
It drives me bonkers, y'all. And on the interstate,
This has
it
been
takes
another
nothing to reach
PSA.
up and hit the little lever and say, hey, I'm going to try to pull over in front of you. You know, because you don't know if the person that's back there coming up on you is paying that much attention. And hopefully that little blinking light that's going, hey, look at me, might keep you from getting run over, and it takes 1 second, if that, half, whatever. That's
And
it.
oh, whoa. Plus, did you even think about it? Most of the time, it'll turn itself off if you're turning.
Right? Now, if you're going from lane to lane, you have to physically do it yourself. But if you want to think about it this way, that turn signal is really the only way you have to communicate with other drivers on the road. Yeah, you can flip them off. I know somebody's thinking it, and I know somebody was going to put it in the comments, but I beat you to it. Nah. Right? But it gives the ability to, you're basically conversing with other cars. Hey, I'm going to go this way. Well, when it's my turn, I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to do that. It doesn't take that much time. I mean, I cannot be the only person on the internet that's ever pulled up to a four-way stop, and everybody pulls up at the same time. And the one guy that gets there first, the one that's supposed to go, that sets it all off so everybody can leave, he's sitting there. And then you're kind of like, okay, flash your lights, it's your turn. And then he turns when he could have turned 5 minutes ago, whatever the case may be. But that's really one of my biggest things, is just use your turn signal. It's not that hard. And as far as I know, and if I'm wrong, somebody tell me what model of car it is. I think it's on every automobile out there. Matter of fact, it's on some bicycles. I mean, use your turn signal. Not that hard, right? So, Bubsy, would that be one of yours by any chance? And you guys, I'm talking a lot with my hands today. Can you tell? It's just, I'm trying to keep myself moving. Yes. He's shaking his head, and yeah.
I gave myself a headache.
So, guys, like I said, we didn't want to go very deep today. We just wanted to hang out with you for a little while and share a little bit. Again, this is one of those topics that we would love for you to comment on and let us know what your pet peeves is and how you deal with them, that kind of stuff. So whether it's on any of the podcast platforms or if it's on YouTube, let us know something. Now, I'm asking for you to like the videos and the podcast. I'm asking you to share them. We want to get out there, like I said, just help you get out of your headspace a little bit, and like we told you, I think it was in the first or second podcast, not everything we do is going to entertain you as much as something else. But we hope that by the time everything is done, you've been fed well, you've laughed a little bit, and if nothing else, hopefully you have laughed at us, right? So, starting, what is it, the first podcast in September, Bubsy?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to start the sponsorship with Coffeetarian.
Which the first one to release should be on the 6th?
On the 6th, right? Yeah. And I have to remember the name, and I apologize for forgetting it right now. But I do know that between September 1st and the end of October, the one humanitarian charity or whatever you want to call it that they're supporting is to help build schools in Liberia, Africa. And they are so close to having one school finished and having it fully stocked. So every bag of coffee you buy, a little bit will go towards that. And once we really start doing these, guys, I really do hope and pray that you all will share them even more so that these schools and these young people over there will have the opportunity to go to school and do the things that you and I have been able to do. So again, if you go to Coffeetarian, look it up. We'll have the link down there. Make sure you put in beard as checkout and get a 10% discount. And as always, I appreciate you. I know I say it at the beginning and at the end of every podcast, but you guys are just helping us out in a major way. And you seem to be liking this stuff. I don't know how to measure success on a podcast. Do you, Bubsy? I figure if you get one
This
more
is my
view
first
or
one, if you ever know about
watch-
it.
Say it again.
This is my first podcast, so I don't know.
Well, I know, but I mean, you watch more and you follow more than I do. I'm just saying, I don't know how you rate a success, but as far as I'm concerned, guys, with all the support that you've given us, you've already made us a success, is what I'm trying to say. And I appreciate you very much. So if you want to find me, it is the THE Caffeinated Beard on TikTok. It is the Caffeinated Beard on Instagram. Drop me a message. Follow me on TikTok. Subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Share it, love it, enjoy it, we hope. And if you've hung around this long, then you know what I'm about to say, because you've been here before. So from this time to the next time, welcome to the family.
And you can find all my social medias at ITSBUBBZI. That's It's Bubsy. That's basically everything that I own is all under that name. Obviously, the YouTube is just Bubsy. There's no it's the beginning. You can find the podcast on any podcast app that you look at. So far, I believe we're on all the popular ones. You can also find the video versions on YouTube under the Caffeinated Podcast. And like I said, leave us a like, leave a rating, leave a comment. Let us know what you think.
Share,
and
subscribe.
Yes, do all that. But as we end off every episode,
This has been the Caffeinated Podcast.
bye, guys.
See ya.